I have been noticing that a lot of people are really struggling with bugs on their plants right now, and they're going to all of these social media places screaming, "What is on my plant?" So I'm going to start a little mini series where we're just going to go through these little guys one by one because you can eradicate certain bugs out of your garden. I want to tell you something that I did today, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. I've been walking around in my garden for 15 minutes looking for bugs so I could put them on camera and show you how to take care of them. Well, I can't find any. Actually, I found this little plant that's got some aphids on it. Today, we're going to be talking about those aphids, and I'm going to be telling you how I completely eradicate them out of my garden. It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of diligence. So we are going to take a look at these guys. I'm going to show you what they look like. I actually had some on my kale as well, and it's just way too sunny over there in the raised bed to be filming, but they're on here. I'll show them to you. And then I'm going to tell you what I do to keep them completely out of my garden. It's springtime. It's just going to, I think May is going to be in 2 days. So every single thing is starting to wake up in the garden. You've got aphids, leaf miners, grasshoppers, snails, slugs, budworms. They're everywhere. So please know it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. When you go out and your plant is infested with something, you didn't do anything wrong. But I want to show you how I get them off, how I keep them off, and that way you can have 100% success. And I want you to be able to walk around your garden too without being able to find any infestation of bugs. So we're going to be talking about aphids today. And about a week ago, I went out in my garden because I had quite a few aphids. It's just spring. I expect them to be there, just like I expect the weeds to be there. And I did what I'm going to show you today. And mostly the milkweed that I had was really infested. I mean, there must have been thousands of these aphids on my milkweed on several different plants. So I'm going to show you how I get rid of them, but I want you guys to know that if you're squeamish, you need to swipe off this video right now because we're going to get rid of these aphids, and there's only one way I know how to do it that's permanent. Now, a lot of people will tell you, just blast them off with the hose. And you know what? They're absolutely right. That works. I've got a hose right here, and we're going to be doing that. But what works even better is when you squish them first. I know. I know you don't want to squish them, but I put my glove on just so you guys wouldn't get all grossed out. Now, sometimes I just squish them with my fingers. So let me tell you why. There's a very important reason why we do it this way. These innocent looking little yellow bugs, sometimes they're black, they could be brown, they could be all different colors. They multiply very quickly. One of these little guys that has come to maturity can make 40 or 60 babies overnight. So basically what's happening here, how do they get on your plants in the first place, is that there are winged aphids. And those are the very mature ones, and they fly about your yard looking for places to lay their eggs. And once they do, within 1 week, those aphids are now ready to reproduce 40 to 60 more aphids on your plants. Within 1 week, they're quick. And then what happens is once they fill up this whole plant, or even this whole rose bush could get totally infested, then they miraculously grow rings, and I'm not kidding, and then they fly off to the next plant. If there's too much of a population of aphids on here, somehow they know, and so they go off to the next plant. So I'm really sorry to tell you that, but that's exactly how this thing works. So if you're going to be squeamish, just take your hose. I hope I don't get soaked. Seriously, I'm not, this really does work. But as you can see, I am going to be hosing them off into nasturtiums and more rose bushes, which they love. So they're going to fight like mad to stay on those plants. Now, if I just hose them off with a really, I mean, I'm not kidding, you got to really get the hose and just blast them, okay? Both sides. As a matter of fact, inside of this rose, I saw a winged aphid. He's got to go. That'll work okay if you're doing it on cement. Maybe you have a really dry environment where they're landing in the dirt. I don't know, something like that. But not in my environment. I have too many plants that they love. So what I do is I squish them. And I know that sounds awful, but I squish them. And it leaves all kinds of yucky on me. Squish them up just like that. hmm I know. I know you don't want to do it, but do you want thousands of those aphids crawling all over? And then I take my hose and I clean it up. Because what happens is they leave kind of a sappy honeysuckle sort of a syrup, and ants love that. So they're just going to pop right on here, and you're being infested with ants now. So look at this plant is 100% clean. There is, whoop, I didn't tell the truth. There's 2 aphids down here. Got them. There's no more aphids on here. And like I said, a week ago, I went and I did this to very large plants. This was just super handy because I could hold it in my hand to show you. But I went and I looked, and there's not an aphid to be found. So really, if you do this, whenever you see the aphids, you squish them, you spray them, you're going to completely eradicate the aphids in your garden. Now, in my garden, in about a month, I won't see aphids at all. They'll be completely gone. And I have the 100-acre wood behind me, and there's every kind of critter back there that you can imagine. But after a while, the populations just go way down, and you don't have to bother with them anymore. Now, I know you might be saying, well, what about the ladybugs? What about the lacewing? What about the little critters that feed on aphids and so on? And that's truly a concern. But like I said, 100-acre wood behind me, there's all sorts of stuff for them to eat back there. I don't go out on the 100-acre wood and kill bugs at all. The other great thing about doing it this way, you guys, this is 100% completely organic. You are not spraying anything on here. This is a milkweed. It's actually a tropical milkweed. Monarch butterflies lay their eggs on this plant, and the caterpillars live on here till they pupate, and then they turn into a butterfly. If I sprayed anything on here, I could be in jeopardy of killing those little caterpillars, and then we'll never see the butterflies. So let's try to go organic in any way we can. Now, there's one more thing that I want to show you, and this is how you keep them at bay, keep them from coming at all. And if I'd have been on my game a couple of weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have seen any aphids at all. So let me show you what I do to keep them at bay. The easiest way that I have found to keep those aphids and quite a few other type of bugs is to give them a little shot of vinegar. Now, vinegar is completely organic. It's not going to hurt anything unless you use too much. And I can't stress this enough. Straight up vinegar, even half diluted vinegar, could very possibly kill your plants. So we want to do this carefully. Now, I know this seems like a little overkill, but I have a big yard and a lot of plants. So I use my Hudson sprayer. I have a dedicated sprayer, and I put 2 gallons of water and I put a cup of vinegar, and that lasts me for weeks on end. Now, the reason that this works is because your plants don't smell delicious anymore. They smell like vinegar. So aphids and other type of bugs aren't going to be crawling up there going, ooh, this is a great place to have babies. It's all about deterring them in an organic way. If you're a little bit worried about the vinegar, just go ahead and get a small, one of those squirt bottles. I've actually ruined every one that I've had. So every year I have to get new squirt bottles. The little squirt bottles, I think they hold about a quart, and put maybe about a quarter of a cup of vinegar in there and just see how that works on a couple of plants. It's better to be safe than sorry, but I think that you are going to really go, hey, that works, and I don't have to pull out a bunch of chemicals and, kill butterflies and bees. So when it comes to this kale, right down in here is the mama, and the mama just laid some eggs. Well, ugh, sorry, mama, no more. I am going to be harvesting this kale because it's sort of past its time. It's sort of a warm weather crop, and I need room in my raised bed to put a lot more stuff. So kale is quite huge. Look at those leaves. They're so big. Anyway, I will rinse this off really good, and we'll have it in our salad for dinner tonight with no aphids. You guys, I'm Sonia with Suburban Gardening, and I hope you found that really useful. If you did, go ahead and like the video, and go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell so you will get notified when the next video comes. Now, I'm intending to post these videos quickly because we are all right in the season, and we are all sick and tired of bugs on our plants. We have leaf miners coming up. We have snails and slugs, grasshoppers, Oh, budworms. My gosh, budworms. Now, I do have a couple of those in the yard. I'd be happy to show you how I get rid of those. Remember, everything's organic, and we want to keep our garden as healthy as possible. And I hope you guys can see my plants are doing amazing. They're not infested with anything, they just look great. And it's because I just take some precautions early on. Another thing that I was hearing the other day is that if you leave a lot of weeds around your property, you might be getting a lot of aphids and leaf miners because they attract aphids. So check that out. You guys, it's always so fun to be in the garden with you, and there's so much more coming up. So I hope you come on back, and I will see you next time.